Okay, this is like the last part, I think. Depending how I ramble, I don't know how long it will be. But yeah, I said like it's it's their story, it's their ideas. I don't want to affect it, and I really am glad to honestly help them try and see if they need any advice or whatever. Like I don't, at least to my knowledge, because I have a terrible memory. Like at least to my knowledge, like with I don't deliberately say like, hey, you need help with this writing thing or whatever. I don't. If I don't think, I don't know. I don't remember. Like, hey, do you want any help? I don't technically say it, but if they come to me and want help, then I'll gladly go in and try to help them with what stories they're writing, what things they're writing, because they look at me like I'm an expert at writing. And okay, I'll say this. Yeah, I did say that in my rough story about Niru, and this was a story true to me, because I was failing so hard in junior, or was it junior? Yeah, it's junior year, and not senior, because I didn't go to study hall in senior. In junior year, went because I was failing at math a lot, and I was not doing good at it, and mainly because like when I was doing math, I had a basic idea of remembering it, but my flaw is that I don't study in summer, though I have been like I really did had like to go to summer school like a lot, because was it because I was not good at school and I had bad grades? Probably, yeah. uh and yeah, I was not the best student at all. But like it was, but I think it's not just that. I think it's also because my dad is like, you need to like not lose your knowledge of all this stuff you've done in school, because you're gonna probably fail. And summer school honestly doesn't do that. At least to my knowledge, it doesn't. Because is there homework in summer school? I think there is, but I don't know. But but that's what my father said. Like when I was a kid, like, oh, you gotta do this because I don't want you to be stupid or lose your knowledge of what you learned in your last grade. And it's okay. My memory's not great, but like in summer school, it's not usually work. Like, sure, there's English. I'm pretty sure there might be math here and there, but it's. I don't think it honestly did anything to help me think more about the stuff the stuff I learned in my previous grade. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. Like, I am not the one that knows, because like it could be that if I didn't do summer school, like I'm guessing like when I came to the age of middle school and high school, I didn't want to do summer school, and I think they tried to encourage it, but I guess I said no. And maybe it did affect me, maybe it didn't. I honestly don't know. But like, I was in math class as a junior, and I think when the problem with me is that This was the first day of school, I think. And now, math was my last class, which actually not shocking because I think in last year was math my last class. No, it was my fourth period, wasn't it? Crap. I don't. Was it fourth period in freshman or was it fourth period in sophomore? Oh crap. This is how you can tell my memory's not great. But like in those classes they tried to help refresh your memory on basic math stuff. And back then I was like a crazy math boy kid, whatever. Because I think like middle school, I think I always try to raise my hand like, oh my god, I know the answer to this. Please, 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 pick me. And did I use a calculator when I do problems? I kind of do. I think I think I do. Yeah, I do. I honestly do. Well, I honestly do if either I feel like I want to get things done quickly, or like if it's too hard to do it with your hands, because every time I count, every time I like count or like add or multiply, not subtract though. I think subtract is kind of difficult for me. And when you do with your hands, like I think that's difficult, but oh man, I don't know. If you can give me a subtraction problem, I could probably try to solve it in a few minutes, or like just a minute, or just a few like little 10-second, 20-second, or whatever. I don't know how long it will take me to do a math problem with subtraction. But I used to be like amazing at math. Not to be an ego booster, but you know, I'm not saying I was the best. Okay, I'm trying to say I'm amazing at math. Well, I was good. Okay, I was alright. I was good. I got the basic gist of things when I was in middle school and stuff. But I can't say that that I did it with no help. I honestly had to have people help me, because sometimes I don't understand it, or I'm just stubborn and I don't pay attention that clearly, and it's not said like that clearly to me. Because you would see me late at night doing a math problem when I'm supposed to be in bed, me struggling and asking for help, like, please help me do this problem. I am like confused, because I think, because you know, for me, looking back as me as a kid, I don't think it's my difficulty. Like, as much as I did enjoy reading, I was like, I think it wasn't the problem I couldn't read, no. I think the problem was like I never read instructions at all for things. Like, I would always like try to be like, yeah, what is this thing? Oh, what does that mean? I don't know. Here's an example of how to do it. And I'm like, it's confusing me. And like, you're not reading it, idiot. So how are you confused by that? And right now I want to slap or punch my freaking young self in the face and just say like, dude, read the freaking like example and instructions and you will easily understand it. Because oh my god, if imagine how proud my or happy my dad would be if I really got like I freaking like did great in that math book he gave me. Like, my god, he would have like been happy, and I would have been able to play more video games, honestly. Like, damn it, I'm like, oh my god, I was stupid. That's like with video games. That's why I was bad at video games back then. And the reason why I was so awful at video games is because I never like bothered to be like, this is what you need to do. These are the instructions. You have to do that. And that's the thing. you have to read the instructions, read the guide, read everything. And I never done that. I was like, okay, mash buttons, what do we do? Maybe I did read a little bit, but I guess I'm like, I think when you, well, like, I think a good example is when I played the Incredibles video game on the GameCube. And I guess I did read instructions for that, and then as soon as the levels progressed harder and harder, I was like confused because the game had puzzles, I believe, and I was like not good at puzzles, and I was like, what do I do? I do not know what to do. I just wanted to punch stuff and fight things and just progress like a fun game. Just the weirdest thing is I actually come to think about it. Well, not really, because I think, no, not think. Yeah, everyone helped me. One game I completed, but had help from everyone else, obviously, was a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory video game. And that video game was based on the Tim Burton movie. I played that game, and did I got far without any help? I think so. Not sure, I think. I can't say I was... I don't know how far I got by myself, but I think there had to be a time and point where I'd like look at my brother and say, hey man, can you help me? And he would, and he'd be like, oh, I know what to do. And I love that he would help me. Oh man, I can remember like nostalgia here. I think it was Sunday. Oh my god, was it Sunday? Crap, I think it was probably Sunday. Oh, was it summer? I don't know if it was summer because I stayed up late. But if it wasn't summer, then I would have been late for school. Maybe it was summer when we played this game, and it was Sunday, and it was late at night. I think it was 10 o'clock or something. And I think this happened twice with two games. One was Star Fox Adventures, and there was a boss battle that we had to fight, and we kept like losing. He kept losing, and he couldn't complete it. And then there was the Incredibles game where we had another boss fight, and he stayed up with me trying to stop this bad guy and everything. And I think it was like this was like before my dad came home, because he used to come home late at night at like 10 or something. And I think we got there before he came home. I was like, okay, thanks bro for helping me out, and me crossing my fingers, like hoping that I can complete it or finish the game. And I don't know how long we had that game, but maybe we had it for like a week or so, I think. I don't know how long we played it or how long we rented it or something, but we played it, and I think maybe it was a week, because did I get the game on Sunday or Saturday? I can't remember, because we prayed, I guess, and he came home. He came to our house sometime, and I guess it was Sunday. And he played the game. He did play the game, I think. And he got to the, I think it was a freaking, like, school time, because I think I remember someone telling me, hey, you gotta go to bed because you gotta go to school. I'm like, yeah, or something, because I tried to do a level with Violet, and I couldn't even get past it, or I wasn't even trying to begin with. Though, honestly, I have seen people play that level. I saw Pan Pizza play this game, and he said that it was the most difficult level to do, to be Violet, because I guess you have to, like, refill, or you have to let her charge up because there's a certain amount of time she can be, like, visible? Oh my goodness, and that was the last level I ever did, because I didn't do nothing else after that in the game, sadly. and I never got to see how the game ends. So, well, now I did because I saw Pan Pizza played it, and let's just say, yeah, the graphics are not that amazing, but I think the gameplay is good because I feel like it does try and be the style of it tries to be the style of the movie with the animation, which I thought was pretty cool. And I still think that it still looks interesting to this day. The graphics still look okay and still alright and fine to me. And yeah, that game, we stayed up late playing that, and yeah, I did say that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was probably the only game that we rented that we freaking completed. But would I really say that I completed it myself? No, I wouldn't, because I honestly didn't complete it by myself because there was help because of the puzzles and everything. Though when the game was ended, when I was playing it, I shockingly finished it. It's so insane. I actually shockingly finished it by myself. Well, for the last levels that we did, but I think that was a given. That was a freaking given. That it was oh, it where you're done now. You finished the game. I was like, huh. And then that's when I realized something. I'm like, damn it, what do I do with my weekend now? And my dad was like, well, you could always read a book or do something else productive. And I was like, shit. Because, I had limits to playing video games at home and such, but yeah, I can remember those memories. It's weird. I can remember those, but I can't remember, simple stuff, which I hate. Maybe it's because since it's a nostalgia and it's a memory, and I'm my brain has all the workers in there, going through file cabinets, oh, that part where he was a kid and he rented this game and stuff. Yeah, let's go and quickly find that and then do that. And that's simple for them, for my brain to do. But when it comes to people's names or important stuff that I try to remember, because when I'm listening to someone talk and say oh, this happened, I'm sorry, and and I try to remember it, it's hard to, because I'm oh crap, what was it? And yeah, I'm sadly notorious for that, and I do freaking apologize for that. I really do. And I'm sorry for anyone that if I forgot anything important you said to me, or if I forgot anything that I've done terrible, or I've done something interesting to you, and I forgot. I really do apologize. Full on, deeply apologize. Wholeheartedly do. Because I do have terrible memory, and I honestly do try to remember stuff. I do. I just sometimes it just slips and it goes away, and I'm sorry. If it bothers you, that I'm forgetful. I don't want to be. I do want to write down things, but sometimes things to write down, important stuff, secrets, or don't say this or don't say that or whatever. I feel I shouldn't write down, because that's something you don't want to write down, because you don't want anyone else seeing that. But I should write down important things, oh, this is an anniversary, and you gotta remember it, right? And it's you don't have to remember, or something like that. It's okay, it's fine, it's whatever, people forget. I'm yeah, but I do need to try at least remembering that, because it's an important date, it's an important time in our lives or whatever. And I don't know, I don't usually write things important, which It's not good. Like, if I had an appointment, if I had like something, and yes, like that's the problem. Like every time I have an appointment with a dentist or like a doctor, or eye doctor, or whatever, I have it in a card that they give me, and I don't write it down instantly, and I lose the card, which is bad. And I think that you don't know the date of it because I don't think they say the year, and you're like, crap, or something. But I'm honestly have written down appointments lately. Well, not the one that I have soon. That's coming in June 1st, I think. But did remember it still, so it's fine. But it's fine because my mother has it on her phone because she has an appointment too that day, I think. But sorry. I am so sorry that I'm like rambling. I'm very sorry about that. But yeah, I don't know. It's like my mind can remember the simplest things, but not the most important things, and that just it does come back to math, honestly, because again, I don't like. Maybe I do read instructions, but I guess I don't read it like I understand. Like, you gotta understand this thing, you gotta understand that thing, and then yet I don't know, like it feels like the instructions might have been written right and they knew what they were doing, and I guess I'm not that smart, or the instructions were written bad. But then again, everyone figure it out, but I just took it as like, oh, they're an adult, of course they know everything. But math changes shockingly, and I don't like that math changes. I don't know why people change math. Maybe it's because like it's like, oh, to get more money. Like, like if we make more complex math problems, everyone will no one will be like thinking, oh, math is simple. Like their parents will think that say like, yeah, math is simple, son, it'll be fine. And then nope. Yeah, it sucks that math changes a lot. God, if did math change again? Like, I know I'm 20. Well, I'll let you guess what age of 20 I am. Um, like, has math changed again recently? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Has it stayed the same? Who knows? But my point was that with math, the reason why I'm bad at it now, well, I'm sort of good at it still because like I can at least do basic math problems. Like I can at least still add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and like I can still do that. And I think when the complex math problems, like, oh, you gotta do it this way or that way, and they say it's simple but it's not, or like, oh, like you gotta do it like this way and you gotta do it complex to get this answer, even though you don't know why you need to do that, because like, will this ever help me in like the future? And I think it does if you're a mechanic or you're like an engineer or like scientist or whatever. I don't know, but like I think it's important for that. But with life, if you're like I don't know, like just a guy working at a freaking like Domino's, or you're working at a freaking grocery store, or a freaking thrift store or whatever, like it's not important. The basic math is, because like you run a cash register in those places and such. But I don't see any point of it for in simplest life terms, if you're not trying to go with that profession that I listed, not the last ones. I mean the smart ones. Oh, that sounds so stupid. I said the smart ones. That's not the right thing to say. I need better vocab. Um, and what happened was, like, we never got a refresher on math. Like, I was jumped right into it. And not just jumped right into it, I think also, like, oh, by the way, we're gonna do a different way of doing a problem. You knew the other way in math class, but we're gonna do it this way or something. And that confused me because I think I had notes for my math class, or I think that I lost them, or I accidentally threw them away. I don't know, because I usually try to keep notes from my math. I never did for English, I think, or I hoard them. I'm a hoarder for educational stuff, or I have on my desk, or like hoard like little sentimental things. I think like, oh, this is a good memory because this happened that day, whenever. I don't know. It's like I just was not happy at this teacher, because this teacher, I think, teach at university, and now he's teaching high school, and I guess no one liked it. Yet I feel like it was a dumb decision to be like, hey, you're gonna do the test, and if you want to go to a different classroom to do it, you can. And we did. And would I say we cheated? I say, like, I didn't do nothing because I sucked, and I was trying to understand it, trying to learn it, but I think they tried cheating and just, like, looked at stuff to learn it and not remember how to do it, I guess. I don't know. If, again, I can't remember simple details, kind of, sort of, but, yeah, I can't remember a lot of stuff, that much, until it comes to something I do know and I can instantly remember it, which is a shocker. Like, it will only come to me, like, at a moment, and I would be like, oh, that's it, and I'd be like, okay, now I can rest easy, I guess. But, like, they helped, and I was, like, needed help, and we did, like, math problems, and I think we tried to make it look like we showed work or something. The weirdest thing I cannot freaking believe is I passed that math class, even though I was struggling at it. Maybe because I went to the study hall and everything, and I got at least kind of a better understanding. But then again, once you learn a new thing, then you have to learn another thing, which, Jesus. And on the next day, by the way, like, all in the same week, like, more math problems to learn so much of. And I'm surprised I passed it. Like, I thought that nothing worked. Like, oh, the study hall might not be working, but maybe it did for a little bit. I understand it a bit more, and I actually had a better understanding of stuff, and I did things. And the most thing that shocked me is I failed history. And that is the worst thing to say. Like, how the heck do you fail history? I can kind of see why. I think I did terrible at history. Like, I didn't do great at it. Like, I didn't do the work right, or I was easily distracted. Because, again, that was usually the time me and Tellum were in class together. And that was the only class I think we had. Yeah, it was in junior together we had. And that's when we started jotting down stories, because we used to in PE, and I think, we drifted apart in PE, I think. And sadly ended, like, oh man, me and Tellum were just, like, thinking of ideas for a story. I mean, I think he did better in history than me, because I think he can do multitasking better. Multitasking. I can't speak. Like, he can multitask better than me, and he did that, and like, oh, here's the story, we'll talk about it later, and like and then he would just like, I would read it more than just the history books, which is not a good sign to do. And it's bad to not do it, and it sucks, and I should have like done something better in a history class, and I didn't. I'm stupid. It's honestly like, I think every time I'm like the person in the group in like a group project, is usually like, oh, he won't do anything, so we'll do all the work, and it's like, don't worry, don't do anything else. Or it's the other way around, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything at all. If that's the case, then I'm an idiot, and I'm a douche then if I did that. But at least I don't know if I ever did cooperate in a group project before. I don't know. Maybe I did. I can only remember me doing nothing, or the group project was like everyone was not that compatible with each other at all, and that was kind of like a negative about that. But that was the sidetrack, because of I took a study hall, because at every after school, to help me out, and I would have help. They would help me learn it, figure it out, and I think if I'm correct, I would try to finish it there, then go home. And that was the basis of the story that took 30 freaking minutes to say. I rant. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I rant. That's many flaws in me. I rant a lot. I don't keep things simple. It's like I want to express detail. I'm like a walking exposition machine. Or more like I'm an exposition machine that like flies off topic quickly and then just forgets what he was trying to point out. And well, okay. Anyway, let's just say like that the story was that it was Nehru, and he it was basically me walking home from school, and he was like, my basis for that story was like, this little short story was like similar to what I wanted to mimic kind of for Tellum. He had his music that he played while he was like going to school, or like certain music he played, and he would describe what song it is and the band that had play that song. And I wanted to do that, but I wanted it to feel like Fooly Cooly. And it's ridiculous, but that's what I wanted to do. I took a Pillow song, and I think it was Brand New Love Song. My favorite song from the Pillows is Brand New Love Song. Thank You, My Twilight does come at a close second too. They're practically kind of tied. That's my ringtone when people call me. And so I not like just like with the Pillows music, like I didn't have just Pillows music. No, I think it didn't just play Pillows music. I think I only used one or two songs from the Pillows, and that was it. And but then I kind of was like channeling Nauta from Fooly Cooly, like, and it's kind of a truth with me. I don't think nothing amazing happens here in Sacramento. I honestly don't. I mean, there could be interesting things that happen in Sacramento, but it's technically nothing honestly amazing happens in Sacramento, which is why I worry that if people do come and visit me, like I would be like, oh, there's nothing to do, and I'm thinking of boring stuff to do, which is lame of me to say, but maybe they will have fun. Like, yeah, it'd be fun to be with you and just do shit. But like I do believe that, and like I say that, and I was like, yeah, whatever, nothing amazing. And maybe it's because I just, even though it's the place I was raised in and grew up in, um, I was like, I just didn't think anything amazing was that good enough for this place in the city. But I mean, we're called the City of Trees, by the way, so no, it's nothing. I think, if I remember correctly, people said that this was a town that never should have happened. Because, you know, like, in the West, they always had, like in the Old West, they always had these towns with different names and such, and they never were that great, and they would be usually abandoned, I think. And I think someone said that Sacramento was a city that was never meant to be, and I guess it suddenly became one that flourished somehow for this long. I don't know. It was someone else's words, not mine. This is why I think it was Sacramento. I don't know. I learned this somewhere, and oh man, like, and that was the basis of it. And I felt like Naota in that situation, and was like bored out of my mind, and so I wrote the story. And okay, my example was, I'm trying to say is like, what was it? Like, oh yeah, when I say that people write better than me, like, I see people writing better than me. I seen Ice write stories and fan fiction that had great detail, great story and narrative that he did, and I thought that was really good, and I loved how he wrote, because Ice did a great job with what he was writing, and I thought that was so amazing. Like, he did great, and I don't know if he still writes. I don't know if he still makes his character and the stories to this day. I don't think he does. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't anymore, but I loved a lot about it. Something I never could do, but strive to try and do by myself. And he did great with detail and character, and he actually did a lot of it, like explaining, like not explaining, describing details of look of look what the characters are, or look of the area, and what was the surroundings, and what was the location, the stage, basically the setup of the place they were in the store in the story. And I was in love with it. It was short, but I loved it. And I told him that this is good. You should keep it up. And he was like thinking, I don't know. I don't think it's good. I'm like, it is good, man. Like, I don't know if I gave him advice that if anything I could change about. I'm like, I think I was like saying a few things here and there, but I'm like, he explained why he did that, or he explained something or whatever, and I was like, okay. And he never continued the story, I think, because he got like tired of the fandom, I guess, because I guess when he hanged out with other friends, I think they didn't like the fandom as much. I don't know, but I did say everyone writes better than me, and I think I don't know, Gambalen might have wrote something and I read it and I liked it, and he did a great job with it. Draws with his comic. I haven't read a lot of it, but, well, because he only showed like bits of it, I think, and I didn't see much, but I think, well, I wouldn't say like it's like expressive of like with words, more like with how he draws the characters. in his comics, and he is great at it. Like, he is like amazing when he's drawing his comics. Like, he is great at the comics he makes. Like, I remember he made a Lost Pause comic he made, and I never read I never seen it or read it, but he has great with expression, with faces, and characters. Like, as much as how simplistic or like easy he does it with how he draws them, I think I love his style of how he does it, like how he goes by it, and I think it's pretty interesting and cool. Like, like, if he ever has any, like, has a fan base, gain notoriety, or uh, notoriety, or in this case clout or something, I hope he does. Well, I think he kind of actually does, because he's got like a million, no, not a million, like 1,000 like followers, and that's insane. And I'm glad he got it. Yeah, because I really hope that when he got those 1K followers, I hope it wasn't like, oh, these people just wanted to see him draw yaoi. I hope it was like they actually like his art, like what he does, and befriend him, I hope. And I'm glad that he got like 1K. That was like really crazy. That was like a race to like go and freaking like get 1K followers on his Twitter. You can follow him. Like, you should follow him. Draws with Fist, at Draws with Fist, on Twitter. He is pretty cool. And other people like at D Gumballen. They're all these two artists. Go follow them. They're cool. And Scrimp. I don't know the Twitter handle, but I just remember the artist. I remember her name is Scrimp. She did like I can only think of one art she has of me, and that's it, I think. And she is a great artist. That she does great. She's fantastic. I love her art. At least I was thinking she's a her, because that would be pretty bad if I have assumed the artist's gender, and I apologize deeply. And yeah, now I'm just like plugging people that that you should follow. It's not like no one will watch it. Well, maybe, I hope. Who knows? Like, it's whatever. Anyway, like, they are good. They're great. I feel like they do kind of better than me. Like, cause I seen Jim Vallon write scripts for his videos, and I feel like it is interesting how he writes them. They're not like how he writes them. Not like a traditional script or whatever, but I say it's perfect nonetheless. But what I'm saying is, like, that sometimes I don't have that oomph, that motivation, or like not confidence, like, no, like the like sometimes the feel of being expressive. Like, I don't know why I suddenly was like, it wasn't like I said each detail, like, this is what this grocery store looked like, this is what I will tell you, the stain that's on the walls or whatever, or messes on the floor or whatever. No. Like, it was more like I just described what I'm looking, not think, no, like what I'm doing, or what I'm looking at, or something. Like, I didn't describe what the like a rack of magazines look like. I just said it was like I seen like this section of magazines or something, and I guess I was like I didn't need to describe that. Like, I feel like people can get a basic idea what a section with magazines will look like basically like magazines like stacked and in a row of sorts, and everyone would just imagine that. Like, it can be any rack you can imagine. Like, you can think of a rack of magazines or a section of magazines in a grocery store or whatever by your experiences of going to a grocery store and seeing magazines in a row or something. And I just only described that. I described, like, the detail of me walking over the street, going to the corner of the store, while the music I was listening to in my headphones, then I drowned out the noises of the world because I really did not like hearing outside noises as much. I kind of do now, but right now I just want to drown things with music. And it was basically like I just listened to music and I talked about like about the artists of the songs that I like, or well, I think I only said about one I described because one song I listened to was Hi Hi Puffy on Yumi, and I kind of wanted the songs to be kind of a symbolic kind of thing of how I'm feeling or what problems I'm going like I'm going through. And um and um and usually Friends Forever, I think I don't I don't know if it was my intention, but like not only I wanted to reference Hi Hi Puffy on Me Yumi, I wanted to and talk about that show I grew up with and how I got into the band a bit. It was kind of like a way of saying like you're friends with someone for so long and you're no longer friends. Like it's like the song is like irony kind of, I think, where you have a friend that you cared about and you gave your heart and soul to, that you could talk about anything and be with them and have fun with them and all that, and then suddenly like you're no longer friends, and having that song play is like a stab in the back, like, oh. And you just start to think, where did it all go wrong? And I don't think I said like that in the story, but it was like if I combine that part in the story, like that short story, and put it into the collab story, like put it as a whole in the collab story, and then people read the story, and who knows if this was before or after the Tellum's story, but like whatever order it goes to, like you would know that he and Ice are not like that close of friends anymore because they had a falling out, and they which ended with just no talking. They just stopped for no reason. Like once they did talk, and then they suddenly stopped. Like they just one line that Miru said to him, and then no response back. And I think that's like really bad to know that you and your friend that you were close with so long, just that one friend got tired of you. And that's not that great. That's not a great feeling, honestly. And it wasn't like my intent, like, I don't know if it was my intention, but it was kind of like a subtle nod that I wasn't trying to say that I'm like happy or anything, because I think it kind of has with my expression of me not feeling upbeat, not feeling happy, not feeling good at all, that I'm just like not feeling like confident about myself. I'm not feeling happy. I'm not feeling like I'm at my best because I feel like I've just been betrayed, or like I have screwed up and I lost something important in my life that I feel like I caused, that I did wrong. Yet I'm too stubborn to acknowledge I'm probably the one that did something wrong. And it was like, I didn't say it, but just me describing my mood and me not, not at the best, and not like being all happy and gleeful and walking around like I'm from Sound of Music or something. Like, I'm just listening to music and that upbeat song comes on, and I'm not like in the store like singing the song all happy and gleefully like I have no care in the world. It's more like I'm listening to the song and it's upbeat and it's catchy and it's nice. Yet it just doesn't hit well with you when it just feels like you wished, or you hoped that you'd be friends forever, and sadly it doesn't happen. And and that's like with the lyrics, because the lyrics at the end was although many times it will get rough. Well, although that many times that we know that many times it'll get rough, and that we are very sorry, or something like that. But then they picked themselves up, knew that they made a mistake, and try not to do it again, and then went back to being happy. Like, they know that, yeah, we had an argument, it sucked, but hey, let's try and do better, or try to like talk it out, or like fix things, and just say, come on man, let's not bring the mood down, let's have fun and like try and enjoy ourselves, and that's what I think I got from the song. And it was, I don't know why I say it's like a terrible sentence I'm saying. I'm like repetitive with my words, but I'm saying this because like I feel like that was the most dialogue I've ever done. Not dialogue, lot of description to my extent I've done in my memory. I think that's what I think, and that it's not like attention to like exciting detail. It's like I actually like said what was in my head, what I envisioned, and what was going on, where was I at. Basically like just establishing the location and where I went to. Like, I went to this, like the cool selection, the fridge selection place, and got like a small mini cheesecake sampler, because that's what I usually because my sister used to buy those, and I started buying them because I got addicted to eating so much cheesecake back then. Like, it was something I did on the side, like, oh, I should buy some cheesecake today because I'm fat. No, but no, like, it's something I did back then. Like, every time, like, I'm in my room and then I go to my sister's fridge and take the cheesecake I bought and then eat it. It's usually like my dessert for things after I eat food, or after I eat lunch, like dinner or something. And that's what I usually do. But sometimes I never finish it and it will get bad, or I'm just like sick and tired of the flavor. And that was my go-to thing. I just described what I did, not on a daily basis, but like what I did every time I stayed at school trying to study on a problem, like a math homework that I couldn't even like figure out on my own. And I would walk home and then just go to the food source that was near my house, and I would just buy that. And at the time, what they had was Shaq Soda, if you remember that. Um, that was like a small thing that happened. Shaq had these sodas, and I actually enjoyed them. They were pretty good. I loved them. It was basically like, in high school, all the kids would have like a monster drink or something, right? Or an Arizona something tea. Me, it was like the the big ass cups, like those big, like, I don't know how many ounce cups, those cans that they have. I never was particular for energy drinks. I kind of was for a while, but then I'm like, nah, they're not good. There's no point like wasting money on it. And I just bought Shaq sodas, like a lot that I could afford. And I don't make them anymore, at least I think. And I had a few that I liked that were delicious. I liked some of the flavors that were good. And yeah, they were actually pretty delicious. I honestly like them. Like this big as hell can of Shaq soda. It was crazy. I enjoyed it. And that was basically what I did when I go to the food source on a weekday if I was staying out after school. Not like with friends, but study, which I sadly never did hang out with friends outside school. Well, when we haven't been in high school for a long time, that's when we haven't that's when we do actually hang out. Like, I actually get an opportunity when we graduated. um like, or like in elementary school, I did actually hang out with friends, which was cool. And that's like old days and what I did. But Christ, I'm really bad at like, I'm so terrible at, I'm sorry, this is not, this was supposed to be the final part, but then I made it even longer. Crap. But anyway, I described every detail I did with the story, but I was only incorporating my real life with what I was doing when I was staying out and had to walk home. And I would describe, and I guess I described a lot of good detail about what I was doing in the store. Like me pulling out my journal and writing something because I saw a magazine with Black Rock Shooter on a magazine cover. And for those of you who don't know what Black Rock Shooter is, it's a song by Hatsune Miku or by Supercell Rio or something, and because they wrote the song. And I love that song. That song is great. And I listened to that song because of the anime OVA, and then I watched the actual anime, and I played the video game. But looking back at Black Rock Shooter, I don't know what to say. Like, it's okay. At the moment, it's okay. Like, the anime is all right. It's confusing as hell, is what I'm saying. And yeah, and I used to love that Black Rock Shooter, but I honestly like the character more than the actual story, because the story is not that coherent or like, or okay. It's kind of, could have been better if they did more episodes and not limit themselves to a few, like 6, I think. Yeah, and I was taking the journal out, which is still incorporated to my real life, but it mixes in with the character because he has the journal that he can write a weapon of his choice, and he has to write the name, the description, and what powers or what abilities, or like how it functions and how it fires or whatever, I think, and he has to like describe it in detail, or else it wouldn't work. Like the summon wouldn't work when he pulls it out of his journal. And the the fantasy comes in when people rob the food source, the grocery store, and they and this is when I took stuff from Ruby also, where I'm just wearing the headphones, and then they're like talking to me like hey, give me your money or something, and I look at them like, again, taking stuff from Ruby, are you robbing me? And they're like, yes, I'm robbing you. And they're like, oh, okay. And then beat the shit out of them with the Blackrock shooter cannon, and the and yes, I include Ruby's scythe, the Crescent Rose, also. And that was fun to do, describing. I think that was a good fight scene. I actually described how it went, because I'm terrible at like sword fighting or punching or kicking fights, but me being the shit out of bad guys, or robbers in this case, was not that hard of a job to defeat them or like try to write down, because basically they're terrible at trying to beat me up, and I totally kick their ass, honestly. And I felt like I was happy with what I wrote. Like, I felt like I did a story where I did great detail to my limits, and I also did kind of a good written fight scene I did, and ended the story nicely. Yet still saying nothing amazing happens, typical Naruto fashion, like. And I enjoyed writing that. Like, I had fun because that was like technically the idea of what I wanted to do with my other stories, is try to write like a good fight scene, or a good you know, action scene or whatever, and try to describe it in a good enough detail that I would see it as, and not like do a cop out and say like, you know, just like the movie ... or something. And I was happy with it. I was happy with what I did, what I made, and I enjoyed doing what detail I did with that story, and it was freaking awesome. I loved it, and I got a good grade on that, because again, it was also homework I have to do, while also being a story I had to write for Tellum to read and me to actually accomplish something. So I mixed in homework with fun, with my sort of fun of technically my work. Yeah. Oh god, I think I should do part 3, because I don't know how high this gigs are, but should we risk it? I don't know. But yeah, that's the only time I think I'm good with detail. And maybe I can probably do it again in the future if I ever have the courage or confidence or motivation to write again, which I don't know how long that would be, which I really hope that I could do it soon. Who knows? But yeah, that I did. I enjoyed doing the that story. It was pretty cool.